Welcome back to Horville's Hut of Horrors. We'll have to start out the episode with the classic Halloween.
Oh, that's right.
Some thunderclaps and stuff.
Halloween episode.
Yep.
I'll be like, "Mwah."
Special Halloween episode. Star Wars Total Rewatch.
Enter if you dare. Get that Transylvania accent.
Horville.
Oh boy. Welcome back to Star Wars Total Rewatch.
Yes.
Getting near the end of Ewoks Season 2.
Yeah.
This is episode 10, Horville's Hut of Horrors, and the Tragic Flute, from November 15 of 86.
Yep. I'm Cody.
I'm Aaron.
I'm Daniel.
And we're just a bunch of Ewoks having fun.
Not in this episode, though.
Well, if you want to call it fun.
This one we're being spooked.
You're right.
Super spooked. I got so much info.
Do you? Alright.
It was hard to track it down, but I got it all.
You did.
Good job.
They don't put links to stuff on their pages. It's just not as connected as it should be. But these articles do exist.
Oh, it's all connected.
I did the research for you guys.
You're right.
Once again, there's another festival going on in this episode.
Right.
It's more like a carnival of sorts.
There's other species involved in this carnival.
Mm-hmm.
An interspecies gathering.
Yeah, not just an Ewok party.
It feels like another traveling circus, but it's a little more well-rounded, maybe, than the
A little
Jinda.
more developed.
Yeah, they have different attractions. We'll give you a quick summary of the episode. In this episode, Wicket wants to go out on some warrior overnight camp, I guess. But in order to do that, his mother, Shodu, says that he must first bring his little sibling to the Tumble Bunny show, some little kid show. So naturally, they don't do that. Instead, Wicket convinces everyone to bring their younger siblings to Horville's Hut of Horrors, just some kind of like a haunted house, essentially. And then all the walklings are super freaky and scared. And so to fix it, Tebow builds some crazy bad dream sucking machine that takes all the bad dreams away from the walklings. But instead, they fall into Wicket, and then he has nightmares, and then he comes clean to his mother, who then forces him to be in the Tumble Bunny show instead of going on the warrior camp overnight visit.
Poor Wicket.
This is another one of those sitcom episodes where they just replaced everything with Ewok names.
Seriously.
So instead of going on like his whatever camping trip with his Boy Scouts or something, it's the warrior overnight trip.
Yeah, sleepover party.
Yeah, everything's just kind of almost all this could happen on another show with humans.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go to a circus. They're supposed to be watching their kids, taking them to some dumb kids show, and they don't want to do that. Not a lot of... I mean, the aliens and stuff are unique, but you could replace it all with... you get the idea.
Yeah.
The Tumble Bunnies...
Right. It's like the Wiggles. The Wiggles Live. Wow.
I like how everybody knows, like all the older kids know about the Tumble Bunnies, and they all think it's terrible.
Mhm.
Something they liked when they were little kids. They've grown out of it.
They're way too cool for this stuff now. I think Wicket would think he was too cool for his own show.
Right. The Tumble Bunnies are these 3-eared bunnies, like we saw in that other episode.
Oh, that's right. Andor rabbits have 3 ears.
The show was run by some weird duck-looking guy.
I don't want to know what that is, honestly.
Seriously disturbing.
It's terrifying. More scary than the Hut of Horrors.
He doesn't seem to really want to be doing the show, but he's like, all right, kids, come on up, see the Tumble Bunnies. They got a great show for you today.
We can talk all about the fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got everything.
Mm-hmm.
We see like the strong man kind of hit the hammer type of attraction.
Yep. Launch the bell up. We see Asha in the background.
Well, yeah. So there's a few characters here, and I was wondering who they were. Because, like, this is Paplu?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one here, this yellow one, is named Charita.
Oh. Okay.
Apparently. She has an article about her. And
Okay.
she's in a bunch of episodes. It's in the background.
And does nothing.
It just says that she was part of the same circle of young warriors that included Weechi, Paplu, and Asha. So these are like the cool older siblings.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of real live action shows will hire some of the same people to be extras all the time.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Like on Star Trek, you'll see a lot of the same crew members that never have any lines, but they're just walking around in the halls.
Right, and you imagine they have their own adventures. Wasn't there a Star Trek episode that actually like fully involved these side characters?
Yeah, they maybe did focus on them just for fun once.
Yeah, something like that. Which I wouldn't mind for this, because these characters seem really good.
Right.
Maybe it's just because we don't see them. We can just pretend that they actually have, compelling motivations and aren't just one-note characters.
Right. In my imaginary Ewoks show.
And you'd see the kids once in a while in the background and wonder, what are they up to?
Right, and to be like, ugh, those dumb walklings. Get out of here.
So they try the tumble bunnies and they just can't do it for more than a few seconds.
All 4 of them are bringing their little siblings. So like Debo's bringing Milani to the show.
Latara's got her 2
little siblings. I mean, they all have names.
Yeah, what are their Nippet?
Oh boy.
Right.
And I forget. I know we've seen them all before though. One of them has that screechy voice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's Nisa's little sister, right?
Yeah.
We don't really hear her talk much here though.
Wicket's little sister's named Window.
Oh.
I don't know. It's ridiculous.
But then we find out the main attraction, Horville's Hut of Horrors.
Well, this appeals to Wicket way more than the Tumble Bunnies.
And he's like, let's take a vote to see where we should go. And the overwhelming majority say, let's go watch the Tumble Bunnies. But apparently Wicket doesn't count the younger kids, his votes.
Right. All the little kids want to see the Tumble Bunnies because this stuff looks scary.
Yeah, and mostly him. He's the one that kind of talks everybody into this stuff.
Wicket decides. Majority rules, or just older Ewoks have more of a say.
He's so irresponsible.
Let's talk about the Hut of Horrors. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, we can talk about Horville, who kind of looks similar to
Ithorian,
yeah, that's what.
Yeah. I know I've seen him before, but this species, but remind me. Where do we see these guys?
Oh, geez. We see them in the Galactic Senate.
They look like this.
That's kind of the hammerhead guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? There's a hammerhead in the bar.
Horville kind of looks like an Ithorian, but like instead of like his neck connecting to the bottom of his head, it connects to like the top of his head.
His eyes are in the wrong place.
It's got to be the same thing, though.
I don't know. They also said he kind of looks like this. Just like a Chevin article also said. These guys are weird looking.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I remember Chevins.
I could kind of see a similarity there, but who knows? He doesn't look enough like either of them to say for sure. What's he doing on Endor? We also have no idea.
Same thing everybody else is doing here.
I guess.
Right, but he kind of has his spooky axe. I don't even remember what they were.
I do. That's
okay,
what I was trying to find
you're
out.
Taking notes.
Well, I'm like trying to pinpoint exactly the names of all these different creatures that they introduce. Most of them do have names, even though they're hardly seen. But this first thing is just referred to as the Snake Eater, which is just a weird green thing that apparently eats snakes, or like, no, it's pretty nasty. Like, I don't know if that's like he's got a weird tongue or something, but it's definitely scary.
Are these even real creatures? They look like just a bunch of sheets hanging up.
They're behind the sheets because they enter it later. Most of what we see is just this picture on a sheet, and just it makes a scary sound.
The cartoon doesn't show us what's inside this hut. It would presumably be too scary to see.
We kind of see it later here.
Like in their imaginations later on?
Yeah, but there's not really a good, clear image. This other thing here looked to me like this creature that we kind of referenced in the theme song, in the intro. this thing that
The one that's holding the nymph houses up.
holds the nymph houses. Yeah.
Okay.
Man, it was hard to find what it was called. He says it, but I didn't know how to spell it. But I did finally find it. It's called the ploob.
All right.
How do you spell that for everybody else out there searching?
Ploob. There's really not much about it, but actually, I have no idea if this is even what.
Small green ball with a tube-like nose.
No, that's not describing it at all. That's something else. Well, go back to searching. But this is definitely the thing that was in the intro, so I still don't have a good name for it. There's a lot of weird creatures in this episode and in the next one. Like, it's too much, okay? I'm trying to do a comprehensive rundown on all the creatures, and they are adding like 10 more every episode. Ridiculous. There's also this guy, just to finish it up. This guy is called Bill Bob, the fortune teller. Bill Bob the Mystic.
Is that his name or his species?
You know what?
All right.
It's good enough that he has any sort of name at all. Okay.
And he comes out and says, "Doom."
Well, right. He says he will tell your fortune.
I'm Bill Bob the Mystic, who knows your future.
All he says is doom.
What more do you need to know?
All right. That was the majority of my research.
I mean, that's the majority of the episode.
Yeah, there's literally nothing that happens in this episode.
You don't even see the hut. Next thing you see is them running out because it was too scary.
There's also some little critter that makes organ noises.
Yeah, he has little organ pipes on him.
But yeah, we don't see much of inside of it. They come running out, so scared.
And so the little kids are upset, and Wicket says, well, we got to distract them so our parents won't find out that we took them to this thing instead of the tumble bunnies. So he tries to host a sleepover, and it sort of works, but not completely. So Tebow comes up with some crazy dream invention.
Yeah.
But apparently it's of Logray's design.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Well, it actually does work.
Yeah, that I was surprised that it actually worked. So yeah, successfully takes all the fear out of the little kids, and seems to be running smoothly until part of it breaks and it tips over next to Wicket, so he gets to have all the dreams instead.
Yeah, all the nightmares go to him, and man, he trips out hard.
Yeah, this weird sequence.
I hate those kinds of nightmare sequences. Like the Goof Troop movie was like terrifying.
Oh goodness.
I know. I hated that scene. Seriously scared.
He dreams that he's turning into Goofy.
Yeah.
I never liked those things as a kid. I don't really understand why somebody thinks it's a good idea to put nightmare sequences in a children's show.
Right. Like, don't do this. Just don't do it. I'm sure it's fun to draw and animate this stuff, but...
Well, and like this sequence, it's not even really scary. It's just weird. They just kind of put him in this like surreal dreamscape.
There's a melted clock.
Is there actually?
Yeah, in like the very beginning part.
Okay. It feels like Salvador Dali kind of thing. It's probably just the animators decided to use an excuse to...
That's what I'm saying. They were just getting bored. Getting bored of drawing Ewoks. I can't imagine why.
Yep. Yeah. And he wakes up and confesses to his mom.
Yep. And he doesn't get to go to the warrior overnight sleepover thing.
But he does get to host the Tumble Bunny show the next day. And his friends are having fun watching it now.
The end.
All right. Boom. Part 2.
Now for something completely different.
Tragic Flute. Man, this is way better.
The title is based on the Magic Flute opera by Mozart, for what it's worth.
Oh.
There's no similarity, I don't think, in the story. Just another one of those pun titles.
Oh, yeah. We should summarize it.
Sure. Thanks for volunteering, Daniel. Let's hear your summary.
Nisa, drops her ankle bracelet in the water, and this giant crab appears.
Naturally.
And he presents a little test. He says, "Oh, is this your ankle bracelet?" And he brings up this golden one, and she's like, "No." And then he shows her actual one. She's like, "Yes, that was it." And he's like, "Oh, thanks for being so honest. You can have the golden one too." Isn't that nice? And then Latara hears about it, and she thinks, oh, like, I'll go drop my wooden flute that my friends actually made for me. I'm assuming they made it after they broke her other one.
Oh, that's right.
So she drops it in the lake, and then same thing happens. But she takes the golden one right away, the golden flute, and that's the wrong answer. So the crab takes her to his fortress underwater.
Yeah.
And the Ewoks have to go rescue her. And then the crab decides to give her one final test to see if she's really that greedy, right? That she'd like give up her own friends. And she's not. She actually learns her lesson. Amazing.
She just barely passes the test.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually did laugh when that crab just appeared. That got me.
Really?
I did not expect it at all. He was just like, hello.
Just this massive crab.
This guy is so bizarre.
He has a mishmash of just stuff smushed together to form some weird sea crab.
Yeah, all kinds of sea animals. Yeah, he looks like an experiment gone wrong.
His name is King Albo.
Elbow.
Elbow. It sounded like elbow. I don't.
It's spelled ELBO.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he has a lot of little elbows.
Right.
He feels like another type of something out of a fairy tale.
Mm-hmm.
This opening sequence feels like a little fairy tale. The scene where she drops her ankle bracelet in, and he says, well, is this yours? No. Is this yours? No. And then the third one, of course, is, they always have the three things in a row.
Yeah.
And then because you were so honest, I'll give you all of them.
It's like a fable. Like it's directly copying this fable called The Woodcutter and the Golden Axe.
Oh, really?
One of Aesop's fables. Yeah.
I did not know that.
It's just the same story. I mean.
But with a giant crab.
Yeah.
So it's weird, but you kind of feel like, all right, I guess he's kind of nice. He's just like, he appreciated her honesty. But no, it turns out he tests creatures for greediness and honesty. And if he doesn't like your answer, he kidnaps you to his underwater palace.
He's got a personal vendetta against greed.
Who is this vigilante?
And who's he to talk about greed? He's got a treasure hoard in his castle.
That's true. He does. He's got a massive.
Yeah.
Right. So Nisa returns home and tells them the story, and then of course Latara, seeing anything gold, instantly is like, "Oh, I must go and get gold." And see, the thing is, she listened to the entire story and knows the fact that he would give her all of them if she simply said that the last one was hers, and yet she still couldn't do it.
She can't refuse a shiny treasure.
Didn't want to take any chances that he wasn't going to give her that stuff.
I don't know.
We haven't seen her flute in a long time. Probably not since that episode you mentioned where Tebow broke it with his magic.
Right. Yeah, no, and they make it clear that her friends made that one for her, carved it themselves. I like that, It's like, oh yeah, they actually did repair her flute or make her a new one. Very nice of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're friends.
That's the whole point of that. So I like her reactions to the golden flute. They were great. I mean, we have to include these.
I dropped my favorite flute into the water.
Is this it?
Chihuahua! That could be it. I'm just not sure.
How about this one?
Whoa, honey!
Oh my gosh, yeah, her actions were so over the top.
Just such a cartoon.
Do you think a flute would even work if it was that covered in diamonds? Wouldn't that throw off the sound?
I mean, that doesn't matter, Aaron. It doesn't matter to her. Let's get real here.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, so naturally she gets too greedy.
This is bizarre too, adding to the bizarro nature of the King Elbow. She chooses the wrong answer. The top of his shell opens up and his creepy hand comes out and grabs her.
He already has hands. Why does he need like a secret hand in a secret compartment?
He's a freak of nature. I don't want to know what unnatural science brought this monstrosity about.
And so they have to go get her. So Tebow uses his speak with animals spell and asks for a great big friend to come help.
Yeah, he does his little bubbly voice underwater. And this tiny fish arrives. Lots of splashing. You think it's going to be some enormous creature, but
He's just this little
this
fish.
tiny little fish. And he says, "Hi, you guys need some help?"
Right. He's got a good voice.
Oh, Tebow!
Hi!
Huh?
You need some help?
This guy has a pretty lengthy Wikipedia article.
Why?
That's good.
I mean, it's mostly
man.
reiterating what happens in the episode, but like somebody went to the trouble to write out all of this. Personality traits, I mean, his biography, like everything you could ever want to know. Search up Tebow's fish friend on Wikipedia.
That's all he gets. That's all he's called.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, he blows a big bubble that they're able to enter. This bubble is like the prisoner bubble.
Oh, wow. Yeah. The old 60s TV show, The Prisoner.
Oh, that's what you meant.
You know, right? Everybody knows that.
Just the way it comes out of the water and stuff.
Yeah, this bubble thing that absorbs people if they try to run away.
Oh yeah. Prisoner. Good stuff.
Takes you back. In this, it reminded me of swimming down to Gunga City.
Oh yeah.
You have that same kind of a shot where you see the city approaching as they move closer to it.
Oh, don't worry. We get to go back.
Yay. So the inside of his castle itself has breathable air
For some reason.
for some reason. For all the creatures he keeps captive here, all the greedy creatures. They find Latara. Like, what is this episode?
I really think the writers and the animators were
What's
just
happened to this show?
out of ideas and just making up anything they could think of at this point. Here you get Latara playing her flute, dressed as a mermaid, with some kind of squid thing. Has its tentacles around her like a prison, like a cage.
Yeah,
Are there mermaids in Star Wars?
I'm not gonna
Probably.
ask these kinds of.
These are the real questions that need answers.
She has a mermaid tail for some reason. They have to pull it off. Not explained.
Again, the crab just kind of appears. They're looking for a way out of the castle now, and Tebow opens up this big door, and it's like, "Hi, I'm the
Hello
crab."
there. Yeah.
I liked that. That made me laugh.
I like the idea of this gigantic crab that just appears out of nowhere.
Somehow he sneaks around, even though he's like 20 feet tall.
That felt like a shot out of some older cartoons too, where they open a door and somebody's face is like some big thing is right there. Oh, not that way.
He captures them in some kind of cage overhanging a shark tank. Classic evil villain lair.
Yeah, Shark Tank with some weird stingray-looking shark guys.
Yeah, they're like stingray sharks.
I think the rest of the inhabitants of Endor need to do something about this guy.
I mean, as long as you're not greedy, you're fine.
Well, right, Aaron. He's doing a good thing for society.
If the Dulux found him, they would all be gone in an instant. It'd be perfect.
So he says, like, "I'm glad you guys wanted to help your friend, so here's what I'm gonna do. She can have another test, and if she passes, you get to leave, and if she fails, then I'm keeping all 4 of you."
Yeah.
Yeah. I just kind of wondered, like, why does he want to keep them? Thin out the bad eggs of society?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. He's got some weird vendetta. Like, what caused him to become who he is today?
What trauma influences his mind? So this test that he gives Latara is to enter his treasure trove, but to come out with the most valuable item, and it's a trick question. But her friends up in the cage still said, "Wow, Latara's never going to pass a test like that."
Yeah, they just have so much faith in her.
They said, "We can't count on her. We need to find another way out of here."
So it's like, "Quick, Tebow, use your magic!" And apparently he had a grow potion just sitting.
He always
in
carries
his
stuff around
sack.
with him.
And I don't know why he was gonna plan on using that to help them get out of there, but naturally,
Instead, he drops it on the shark.
yeah. And there's a giant shark instead, a giant stingray shark. What everybody needs.
Yeah, Latara's just having a heyday in the treasure room. But there you go.
But then she finally learns what the most valuable thing in the treasure room was.
He put her own wooden flute in there, which is clearly the most valuable thing because her friends made it for her.
Yeah.
You have chosen wisely.
Right? It's a small little wooden
Mm-hmm.
flute instead of the elegant magical flute. Makes sense.
Holy grail of flutes.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. Check it out. Wow.
Yeah, she gives Tebow a big old kiss.
Right on the lips.
No, yeah, just blammo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess, is she thanking him, or is she just happy to be set free?
She finally realizes that her friends have value.
She finally appreciates him as what's happening here. Like, you know what? You did make that flute for me. That's a nice thing to do.
I get it.
She learned something. That's good. Small steps. That's all right.
They've improved over the course of the series. There's no question about that. If you're taking bets on will they, won't they, Tebow and Latara, here you go. This is the episode for you.
It's got the most headway in the Tebow Latara ship. So
Some people, that's all they watch shows for. So this is what you're looking for right here.
It's true, I know. They're just keeping us going a little bit every episode.
Anybody have any closing thoughts on this episode?
Oh yeah, I mean, I realized we didn't even rate the last one.
Are we still doing the nub by default?
Yeah.
Well, right. Was this an interesting episode? Yeah. Would I recommend watching it? No. It's still no good.
No.
Nope.
No.
None of them were any good.
No. Of these two, the second one with the flute was better than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there's a lot more going on.
Like, I couldn't care less about that Hut of Horrors episode, but this one was okay. So the next two are called Just My Luck and Bringing Up Norky.
Oh no.
So any bets on whether that'll be better than this one?
Ooh.
I'd be surprised, but we'll find out.
Surprise me, Ewoks.
Please.
We have 3 to go.
Ramping up to the exciting conclusion of the series.
We're just trying to power through them while we're all sitting at home.
See, the peak will probably be Battle for the Sunstar.
I think definitely.
Likely that episode's already out. Go listen to that. What are you doing listening to this garbage? Put this warning at the beginning of every single one. Instead, you listen through the whole thing, and now we're telling you to leave.
Yeah, terrible shame.
No, we're glad you're here.
No, I like these. I still think it's fun. If it's terrible, we can laugh at it. If it's good, we can talk about it all day. That's great. But if it's bad, it's still fun to laugh at.
And we are learning just a little bit more about weird pockets of the Star Wars universe.
I'm sure this isn't as weird as it gets.
These might be as weird as it gets. The Season Scepter.
Yeah.
Right.
We gotta sign off here. So.
good.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
All right. Bye.
Boom.